What is up, Cardinals? I hope y'all are having a great week. Do you know what this weekend is? What was that? What's this weekend? What's on Sunday? That's right. Easter is on Sunday. And what do we celebrate on Easter? Jesus' resurrection. That's right. Yeah. So I'm very excited to have our Easter Mass, our the Easter Vigil on Saturday night, and we're going to celebrate the night that Jesus rises from the dead. And Easter morning is when we experience the wonderful reality that Jesus died for us and he rose from the dead. He defeats death itself. And so it's very exciting at this time, even when we're apart like this, that we can take part in this journey with Jesus. And that's a perfect way to explain the stations of the cross, which is what y'all are going through with Miss Simmons this week in the atrium. So the stations of the cross are also called the way of the cross, and it's basically just remembering what happened with Jesus on his way to his martyrdom. And remember that martyrdom means dying for the faith. It means dying for God. It means giving yourself for God. And so Jesus makes the sacrifice of himself so that we can have life. He gives himself so that we can live. And again, he does this and he rises from the dead, which is the great hope that we're filled with. So it's not something that we're certainly sad with Jesus as we go down the stations of the cross, but we recognize the great love that he has for us, and we do this with great hope and with great prayer as we thank Jesus for his sacrifice. So where do these come from? When did we start doing the Stations of the Cross? Well, from very early times after Jesus' life, death, and resurrection, we have been doing the Stations of the Cross. And they started in the Holy Land. You know, where did Jesus live? Remember? In Israel, right? In the kingdom of Israel. It wasn't called the kingdom of Israel at that time, but it was always this in the mind of the Jewish people that this was their land, this was the Holy Land. And so Jesus, all of the events of his passion, his dying on the cross, they happen in the city of Jerusalem, right? So the city of Jerusalem, it is still there. It is still sitting right there in the Middle East. It's now in the country of Israel. But all of these things happened in Jerusalem, in the center of the country, you know, where everything is happening. You know, a very important city for the people of the Jewish law, for the Hebrew people, and it still remains that way today. And so from the beginning, people would commemorate, they would go on this journey with Jesus in Jerusalem. So they would say, oh, this was where Jesus was condemned by Pontius Pilate. This is where they laid the cross upon him. This is where he fell the first time. This is where he met his mother. This is where Simon was brought in to help Jesus carry the cross. All of these different things, people, you know, just like when you have a memory and you go back to that place, right? It reminds you of something. So maybe there's, let me think. There's a place where you had a happy memory, like a classroom, and you go back, maybe you're in third grade this year, but you go back into your first grade classroom and you see your old teacher and it reminds you of that moment. So people would do this with Jesus too. And so we can do that with Jesus as well, because we have this memory of what Jesus has done for us, because we've heard it our entire life, right? We've heard of the things that Jesus did and what they did for us, that they saved us. So when we do the Stations of the Cross, we can go on this journey with Jesus. And you don't have to be in the physical place, right? You can call them to mind. And so we look at the way of the cross. We look at the Stations of the Cross, and they help us to give thanks to Jesus. They help us bring us closer to the mystery of Jesus's life, death, and his resurrection from the dead. So I hope that when you do the Stations of the Cross this week, you will be able to enter into that prayer of thanksgiving. Lord, thank you for giving yourself for me, and help me to give myself for others. Hope you all have an awesome, awesome, happy Easter, and that you are staying safe and having a lot of fun, and that your parents are doing great. I miss y'all. I'll see you soon.